Hello, African Diaspora News family. My name is Reneilwe Morema, and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel. I'm reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. While addressing a roaring crowd on the 21st of March, Human Rights Day in South Africa, Julius Malema took the time to remember all the freedom fighters that died on the 21st of March 1960 after police opened fire on a crowd of people who had assembled outside the police station in the township of Sharpeville in the then Transvaal province of then Union of South Africa, today part of Gauteng, to protest against the pass laws. Pass laws served as an internal passport system designed to racially segregate the population, restrict movement of individuals, and allocate low-wage migrant labor. In his speech, he called for the unity of all Africans across the continent, the real original Africans, since people now want to label themselves as Africans. But during apartheid, they called themselves Europeans. Guys, can you see the delusions we are dealing with here in South Africa? Anyway, he wanted fair elections in Mozambique and for Zimbabweans to stop being cowards and go back home and fight the dictatorship of Emerson Mnangagwa.
Elections in Zimbabwe, we call on Zimbabweans to stop being cowards and confront Mnangagwa's government and go and reclaim their own country. They cannot continue to stay in South Africa as if they're enjoying life here. You will never enjoy life in somebody else's country. You can only enjoy life if you go home and remove ZanuPF from power and arrest those who are stealing the gold of Zimbabwe.
That was Julius Malema encouraging Zimbabweans to go back home and fight for their country. It doesn't help that every time things get bad, people are running away and becoming a burden to other people's economies. Their children will never know their home country, their birth country. Zimbabwe will become a ghost town run by savages who run on stomach politics. Right now, it's not even fair that we harbor almost 50% of Zimbabweans in South Africa, but they can't even defend us when it comes to AfriForum. Instead, they add fuel to the fire. It's not fair that we kept the Zimbabweans in our country, fed them. Their government didn't lift a finger to assist us, by the way, but yet they have the nerve to allow Israel to use them as pawns to surround us. In a revenge game the US is on. Israel is using our neighboring countries like Zimbabwe, using financial aid as a decoy to surround us. We are literally chess pieces to America, and this further deepens the division of African countries because we allow ourselves to be chess pieces. People on social media are calling Julius Malema a hypocrite for this statement. 1 minute he's saying African migrants should find creative ways to enter South Africa, and the next he's saying Zimbabweans must go home. Some are saying he is changing the tune of his song because of how putting other Africans first before South Africans through the open border policy tanked EFF numbers at the polls. And now he has learned his lessons. People are mistaken about the message behind open borders in Africa. Africa has so much potential with its borders opened in terms of trade, setting up a central African bank backed by its own gold-backed currency, the exchange of culture through tourism and reproduction. The list to make this continent the greatest continent on this planet is endless. But with leaders like Emerson Mnangagwa, Felix Tshisekedi, William Ruto, and Cyril Ramaphosa, we are not going anywhere in life. We will remain crippled and dependent on the Western countries that exploit us. Malema is offering us a solution out of this, and people have distorted his messages. Malema is not saying every Tom, Dick, and Harry from Africa should come reside in South Africa, but the open border policy is a way of reconciling with each other, because best believe Europe and America thrive on the division of Africa. As long as we are not united, it gives them space to continue exploiting us and turning us against each other while they take the bread and leave us with the crumbs. Why do you think Western countries are as great as they are today? because of open border policies. A large area within Europe, encompassing most EU countries plus some non-EU nations, operate with relatively open borders through the the Schengen Agreement. And that's why the economy is thriving, because of their cooperation, working together. They hardly borrow from the World Bank. The World Bank, that same system that was designed to keep Africans in debt. Malema wants the same for Africa. Gaddafi wanted the same for us too, the open borders. And I know it's scary because some people won't receive his message the way he wanted to say, because to some, and it's a South African reality, to some South Africans living with African migrants, it has become dangerous. You know, the high crime rate, they contribute heavily to the high crime rate. You know, they are burdening the economy. Some of us can get benefits, the social grants from the government, because we are pouring from an empty cup. We are lifting other nations. I get that. And this is the reality most Black people face on a daily basis, and something Julius Malema is not familiar with because he's living his best life in his mansion in Sandton. I totally get it, because the open borders, for how we receive it, is that every person is welcome. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry from Africa is welcome to come here without limitations. And we know that when they say open borders, other African countries will open their borders, but I doubt they will be, lining up to go to countries like Zimbabwe. I doubt other Africans will be lining up to go to countries like Senegal or, I don't know, Burkina Faso. We all know that when they say open borders in Africa, everyone will start flocking to Yes, we'll start flocking to South Africa. We know that that's the reality of it. But don't distort his message. His message about open borders was not to say, hey, everybody's welcome to come and collapse the economy and burden us. No. He just means that in terms of trade and development and strengthening Africans, yes, different African countries uniting us, yeah, it will happen, because Europe is doing it and Europe is thriving on the division. And if you can close that gap, we will surely go far. That's what he meant. But, some of us, people have been hating Julius Malema for such a long time that they were waiting for just a little thing to, snap at him, to close him down, to shut him down. But if Gayton McKenzie said the same thing, nothing was going to happen to him. So, yeah, we have preferences here in South Africa. So, yeah, I'm not even going to stress about that. But in terms of Zimbabweans, stop being cowards and going home, I think it will help them in a long run. I think it's for the best, because now Zimbabwe is becoming like a ghost town. Now people are operating on stomach politics. Zimbabwe has allowed itself to be softened, buttered up by Israel. Israel is using them as a decoy, or is using financial aid as a decoy to surround South Africa. And Mnangagwa allowed that because there's money involved. We know this aid is bribery. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations